Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to Business. The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries says government must consolidate some gains made in the 2018 budget statement to promote business development. The chamber says it does not expect the Minister of Finance to increase taxes or introduce new taxes as businesses are already overburdened with numerous taxes. CEO of the chamber, Mark Bedua-Boaje, who was sharing his thoughts ahead of Thursday budget's presentation, noted one of the topical areas that must be addressed is the cedi-dollar parity rate.
Some gains over the past 2 years. We've seen inflation coming down. We've also seen the policy rate coming down and that of the T-bill rate. These are gains that are very relevant to the economy, and we expect that the budget will consolidate that. But we don't expect any increment or introduction of new taxes. Already we are overburdened with a number of taxes. So what we are asking the government or the Minister of Finance is to come up with an innovative way of broadening the tax net to include those who are not paying tax. Businesses are already suffering. It's so easy to identify a business or an individual to impose tax on them. But if you go to the informal sector, there are a number of people who are engaging in economic activity, but they are not paying taxes. Let them bring all of them into the tax net so that every individual or commercial entity will pay a little bit of the tax, and that will help us to generate the revenue that we need as a country. In every economy, once you see inflation coming down, you see policy rate coming down, you expect that the lending rate will come down. But that is not the case here, which means that there is something fundamentally wrong with the linkage between the policy rate and the interest rate. We are expecting that the Minister of Finance will come out with a clear policy to make sure that the borrowing rate actually responds to the policy rate, and that once they are coming down, interest rate should also follow suit and also come down. We've had a series of issues with the depreciation of the cedi last year. What we do is a firefighting approach where we quickly get some dollars to stabilize the situation, and within 2-3 months it comes back again. Now, it is important that we set our priorities right. We have been saying that to be able to make the city strong, we need to change the structure of the economy. And we think that the one district, one factory is a clear case to do that, where things that we are importing, we will be producing, and even export to get more foreign revenue. But we have realized that the implementation has been slow. So the minister should come out with a clear initiative or information on how you are going to handle the one district, one factory. We want the number of factories that will be set up in 2019, the district that are going to have this factory, so that we'll be able to monitor. If you do that, we can change the structure of our economy. We will reduce our import, we will export more, and also strengthen the local currency, that is the cedi.
Meanwhile, the Managing Director of Women's World Banking Ghana, Charlotte Baidu, wants the 2019 budget to address 3 critical areas within the financial sector. These include paying all outstanding arrears for government projects honored, the setting up of a special fund to support the banking industry, as well as setting guidelines for the operationalization of Deposit Insurance Act. She spoke in an interview with Joy Business.
I have 3 things that I wish the Finance Minister will tackle. First one is, I want to hear the steps that they are taking to pay all outstanding arrears in the government contracts that we have financed. And I think people keep on saying that the government owe people, they owe contractors, so contractors too can't pay financial institutions their commitment. So I want to see the steps that the government is making to pay contractors so that there will be liquid in the system, and then the banking industry, there will be a bit of sanity in there, because MPLs are swelling because government is not paying. So I want to know the steps. Obviously, I don't think that any institution will say that they don't have. You might primarily not even finance somebody, but you have financed someone that has something to do with that. So directly or indirectly, you are in it and you are involved. So I think everybody is involved. I would say that. My second thing is that I want to see the operationalization of the Deposit Insurance Act. It is something that is there, but we want to see it being operationalized. So we want to see the modalities around it so that moving to 2019, we will know how to go about it very well. It is the act that has come. There are guidelines, and we are supposed to go by the act. We are supposed to operate within the act. So let us see the guidelines around it, how we can operationalize it, and how banks and non-bank financial institutions, the people in the banking industry space, how we are supposed to execute this. So in my opinion, we want to see the guidelines around it and how we can operationalize it. And then my third thing that I want to say is the creation of a special fund to support the banking industry.
Meanwhile, some importers of second-hand goods at Abeka La Paz here in Accra say they are looking forward to a reduction in import duties. They lament current charges on imported items are unfavorable, pushing a lot of importers out of business. Here's a report by Sandra Esinam Apenu.
So in less than 24 hours, the Finance Minister will present the 2019 budget to Parliament and Ghanaians as a whole. And for every Ghanaian, there's always a specific area of interest. For a nation that actually imports a lot of goods, how are importers faring? What is the situation on the ground? And ahead of the 2019 budget, what are their expectations? La Paz has one of the biggest second-hand goods markets in Accra. From home appliances, furniture to a wide range of electronic gadgets, one is surely guaranteed a good deal on any day. Over the years, this second-hand market has served a lot of Ghanaians who are unable to afford brand new home appliances. Richard inherited the business from his mom over 10 years ago. For him, business was just doing fine until import duties took a nosedive. This radio set, formerly sold to him at 50 Ghana, is now sold to him for 100 cedis.
They say they used to buy the high price and the duty is also high now. We used to sell it 120, 100 cedis. Now I can't sell it that amount. It's somewhere 150, 180. So if you buy it before that price and now you come it's different, you still complain.
For him, he cares less about any budget presentation since it has never reflected positively in his business.
I don't normally even listen to them too. So for me, I mean it. If it comes, I'm okay.
You mean you don't care about the budget?
No.
Why?
No. I don't know why, because politicians, they are something, they will maybe say this today, tomorrow it will turn off. So if you are someone, you always put your mind on politicians, they will always make your hand comes down.
Augustine Osei is equally unhappy about import duties. A 40-footer container formerly cleared at 15,000 cedis is currently going for 30,000.
Right now, when you go to, we are getting Christmas, go to Temahaba and see right what's happening. The place is like football pitch, empty. But formally, you can't even get a leg to pass on. So my advice is they should go down and see to the duties, because the paperless, whatever they are calling it, people are still complaining. We come to La Paz. They will say, oh, and you don't expect people to do business and lose. When I lose today, do expect them to bring it again. So my expectation or my appeal is the government should go down, because when you are collecting taxes from people, it's not by force. When I don't bring in the goods, you can't get the taxes to collect from me.
Rita, another importer, has this for government ahead of Thursday's budget.
Ghana hano, yen factories ni hano. We produce less
as a nation and we don't have a lot of factories manufacturing items here. So we definitely have to import. So what is the essence in having high import duties? And while these importers await a reduction in import duties, they are also hopeful that government will quickly honor its promise of reviewing the dollar duty quotation from 1 week to 6 months.
And those were some expectations of the public ahead of the budget. Now, inflation for October has declined to 9.5% from 9.8% in September. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, the fall in inflation of non-food items in the basket accounted for the reduction. Acting government statistician Ba Wadie said the rate is the lowest since January 2013.
Per the calculations by the Ghana Statistical Service, the rate went down from 9.8% in September to 9.5% in October. Acting Government Statistician Bawade attributed the 0.3% decline rate to the reduction in prices of non-food items.
Year-on-year non-food inflation rate for October 2018 was 9.8% as compared with a rate of 10.3% recorded in September 2018. And the year-on-year food inflation rate for October 2018 was 8.9% as compared with 8.7% that was recorded in September 2018. And the year-on-year non-food inflation rate was 0.9 percentage points higher than the food inflation rate. Then in October 2018, the year-on-year inflation rate for imported items was 2.3 percentage points higher than that of locally produced items. The main price drivers for the non-food inflation rate were transport with a rate of 13.9%, clothing and footwear a rate of 13.4%, recreation and culture a rate of 12.7%, and furnishing household equipment and routine maintenance a rate of 11.9%.
Meanwhile, the Upper East region recorded the lowest inflation rate of 8.3%, followed by the Greater Accra region with 9%. The Upper West region had the highest inflation rate of 11.6%.
At the regional level, 5 regions, namely Upper West, Bunahafo, Western, Northern and Ashanti, recorded inflation rates that were above the national average of 9.5%. Upper West region recorded the highest year-on-year inflation rate of 11.6%, followed by Bunahafo with a rate of 10.4%, while Upper East region recorded the lowest year-on-year inflation rate of 8.3% in October 2018. The October 2018 inflation rate of 9.5% is the lowest since January 2013.
The month-on-month rate recorded was 0.7% compared to 0% recorded for September 2018.
And that's all in business for tonight on Joy News Prime. Make a date tomorrow for an extensive coverage of the 2019 budget here on Joy News. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Biafi. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good evening.